everyone. Welcome to the Awesome Day of FileMaker Training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTrain.tv, where every day is an exciting day learning about the Claris FileMaker platform. As an update, that we are expecting a FileMaker server update over the next couple days, and it's the first round of important fixes for the FileMaker 2124 for FileMaker Server. I believe it's a FileMaker Server update only, and so Pro's been working pretty damn good. FileMaker Pro, Mac or Windows version 21, released in the year 2024. Eventually, there'll be updates to Pro, but I think at the moment, we're just going to see the update from FileMaker Server this week. So I want to alert everyone to that, be watching for that. All right, so real quick, upcoming broadcast schedule. We got Super Nick coming on today. We're going to be wrapping up over the next 3 days, importing and updating millions of records in the FileMaker platform. Nick, did I hear you right? You had 500 million records. Was you almost 500 million? Is that a true statement? Am I hearing that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So Nick is doing 500 million. You know what they say, a billion here, a billion there, and pretty soon you have real money, right? So that's that. So Nick, you're ready to do billions of records, or we're 500 million records? Is that what we're doing? 500 million?
Yes. Yeah. At the end, yes.
1/2 billion records. All right. So this is the last 3 days of this conversation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to transfer command to Nick, who's in Greece still. All right, Nick, action.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so thank you for joining today. So this fourth day of the massive import of records, right? So, but not just an import, okay? Because in FileMaker we have different imports, right? And I'm going to explain you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and show you what we talk about here. So I'm going to stop my video that we don't need. Okay, so what we do, we want to import. So we do import, like file import, right? And I have a nice test CSV here, test CSV. Okay, so I'm importing this. Okay, here we have 3 ways to import data in FileMaker. Okay, we have add, which is pretty simple. You have a current set in table, right? So you have a current set of record in the table, and then you add new record based on this CSV. So for example, here I have 3 records. So I have Nick, Scott, and Marge, name and city, right? And I want to import those records. I import the record, boom. I have 3 record. I have those 3 records that I have in the CSV. They are here now, okay? This is the first way, okay, to do the export. We all know that, right? But everything gets hairy when we do an update. Okay. So what an update? Updates is we're going to ask for. So you select update here, and you're going to match the imports based on the fields. That means you have a current set of data. You're going to import new data. You're going to do an update based on a CSV, matching, right? Matching the, what's the name? A field. For example, here, in this example, I have Nicholas, San Francisco, Scott, El Paso, Marge, San Francisco, and I have a phone number. Here, I want to update with new data. So Nicholas is no longer Nick, right? And Scott is Scott is untouched, right? And Marge is no longer in San Francisco, right? So if I do an update like this based on the name, updates based on the name, matching the name, that means whatever Nicholas, this here must match 1 record here. Scott must match one record here, and Marge must match 1 of this. This field won't be changed. This field is not going to be imported, right? That means if I do this here, what is going to happen is this. I'm going to try to match this. He's not going to find Nick. Nick is not there. He's going to find Scott, but he's going to just import the same thing because they're identical. And Marge is going to get a new city, right? But Nick, which is not existing, is going to be added. So let's assume this, right? So now you can see what happened here. Scott is unchanged, right? He find it because now I have a new set of records. Nick didn't find, create new record. Scott he found it, but he just import the same thing. He did the import, just he did the import. He imported again El Paso. And Marge is no longer in San Francisco, she's in Fairfield. But if I show all records, Nicholas hasn't been part of this import. That's why he has got ignored. Nicholas has been ignored because he wasn't part of this file, right? So, but what happened now if I do this? So I put Marge back in San Francisco, right? And I remove this. And I changed the order because here the order was pretty much the same, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what happened if I change the order, right? And I do again this import, which is an update on the name. I do it again. Boom. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the sorts, how it has been sorted. It doesn't matter why, because it's going to match based on the name, right? So that is the second import type we have, right? So let's put back like it was, right? And I remove Nick, and I do show all. So now we have another one. Is this the replace? Replace. So what is the replace? Is an update, but all field will be updated now. I don't have the match. Here, when I select update, I have the possibility to say match. But when I do replace, I have no matching records, no matching fields, and both will be updated, will be replaced by the data in the CSV. But here the catch. That's why they did that 1, 2. You have 1, 2 here. Why? Is because what will happen is this. Oops. The first record here, the first row in this CSV, the first row will replace the data of the first record. The second row will replace the data of the second record. The third row will replace the data in the third record as they appear in this sort order. That means there's no matching. There's no smartness here. First row in CSV, go to the first record in that found set. Second row in the CSV, go in the second record of that found set. Third row in the CSV, go on the third row of that found set. There's no smartness, right? So if I do here, it matches. So Nicholas will become Nick. San Francisco won't be changed. Scott, El Paso, that won't change. And Marge will change the city. So let's do it. Boom. So now those two matches. Nick from Francisco, Scott, El Paso, Marge, Fairfield. But this is good. But what happened if I do this? So see, for example, I have a field here that I'm not going to change. So this is a number 888. This is Scott number 999. This is Nicholas number, and 765. That's Marge number. What happened if I do again these imports, right, in that order? Well, I'm going to replace the name and the city of Scott by Nick San Francisco. That means I'm going to get everything off. Everything will be messed. The telephone number won't be the one for Nick. It was Scott's, right? So because there's no smartness, I'm going to replace this, the first, second row without any smartness, right? It's going to do a replace, right? But everything will be off. That not Nick phone number, that was Scott phone number, right? So the replace is a good thing, right? But it could be very, very dangerous. So far, do we have any questions?
Not at the moment. So.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So the problem we have when we have free records, everything fine, right? What happened? When I have 4 million record, I have a CSV of 4 million record, and I'm going to update. I want to update. If it opens, I should have opened that before. Okay. Almost 19 million record here. So I want from this CSV file, I want that this registration number, right? This number here, this VUID, right? All the data of the CSV file, right? I want to update the data for that record matching that field. I want to retrieve that record in this 19 million records and update fields based on the CSV. The problem is this. If you use the replace, remember what I was using here? The replace based on comma separated. Okay, all available. So if I do a replace, right? This, an update based on the fields. So I want to be smart. That means I want this number to match the same record here, right? If I do that with this configuration, here what will happen? is going to go there, is going to take this matching fields and check one by one this 18 million, 19 million record and stop up. It will say, oh, I found it, right? Until he finds it, right? He's going to keep going and check the matching record one by one, one by one. He's going to do that one by one, right? Until he finds it. And then replace the data, update the data of the field I want, and then go to the next record and do the same for that one, and for that one, and for that one. For each 4 million record here, is going to do that in those 19 million records. So you imagine how long that will take. We made a math based on the speed of what we saw, and we calculate that in that configuration, because at the end, I have 14 million record here, 19 million record here. So I want to do 14 million time a check on 19 million records. And that will take 7 years if we want to do that. We need to wait 7 years, right? And then we get the results. So we need to be patient, right? And when this will be done, I will inform my grandchild to check on the FileMaker server and check if everything okay, right? Hopefully in 7 years I won't have a power failure or whatever, right? or internet disconnection or whatever, something like this. So you need to pray. So pretty much you have no chance to, you have no chance to succeed. So and I don't think you're patient enough to wait 7 years, right? So
Not really.
we need to come with another way to do what we want to do. And that means to update in a smart way. Okay. So the answer is simple. We are going to use the replace and not the update. We are going to use here, right? Wow, this one. We are going to use this, the replace, without smartness, right? But we are going to make sure we are going to get both sides synchronized, perfectly aligned. The CSV file and the source and the targets, right? Those two will be perfectly aligned, perfectly synchronized, right? And that's why I'm calling this technique synchronization, because pretty much this is what it is. It's a one-way synchronization, right? Let's say, okay? Because we are going to synchronize both files, okay? We are going to synchronize the source and the target to get the same number, the same amount of records, right? At the end, when we have everything aligned, we are going to do the replace of the data, right? So if we don't have any questions so far, I can continue.
No, we're good. So.
Okay. So what are we going to do? Okay. How we can do that? So let's say we have 4 million records. So I have a CSV with 4 million records. I have no idea if all of those 4 million are inside this file, this 19 million. I have no idea if I have them all. Maybe I will have some that doesn't exist here. That's why I cannot say, oh, okay, synchronize. I can't. Okay. So to synchronize is simple. I'm going to take all those records, right? The 4 million, and I'm going to tag them here, right? I'm going to retrieve them, and then I'm going to say, okay, here I have 4 million records, and let's say I found 3.5 million. 500,000 are missing. That means they are not there. That means they are new records. That means here in those 4 million, right? Part of them are already there. So I'm going to do a replacement. I'm going to replace the data of them because they are there. And 500,000 of them are not there. So, and they are new inside this file. So I need to create record for that. So I need to get this table ready, right? So the goal is this, okay? I'm going to get a found set of all the records that I can retrieve in that file, right? I'm going to put an ID here, right? Then I can retrieve them, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, now, so I will, all the ones that are existing from that set of 4 million, all the one existing here will get an ID. Now, I'm going to select those with this ID, right? I'm going to select them. I'm going to find them. And then I'm going to do exactly the same. That's okay. You asked me to retrieve 4 million records. I only got 3,500,000. That's all what I got. So I'm going to get those 3.5 million records, right? And I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to come there and I'm going to tag them, say, by the way, this one exists. This one exists. This one exists. This one exists. All the ones that are existing here, right? So I asked for the 4 million. I find 3.5 million. I get this 3.5 million, and I say, by the way, they are existing. I'm tagging those the 3.5 million that I found. I tag them, and then I say, by the way, the 500 million that are not there, that mean they are new, right? Easy, right? Correct? When I get this situation where I got the 4 million, the 3.5 million existing and the 500,000 new records, right? That means I have 4 million. That means I have them all. I say, by the way, I want you to select those new records here, select them, import them, adding records, add those records in this table, right? So you add those numbers, you add those that are not existing, you add them here, right? With the same ID. And then at the end, right? You say, okay, retrieve all the records with this ID. That means the 3.5 million that I found from that list, plus the 500,000 records new altogether that do 4 million. And then I say 4 million here, 4 million here. I have a match. that means I am synchronized. That means I have both sides, right, synchronized. So that means I know which one are which. I know which one are existing. I know which one are new in this table. Then at the end, I can say, okay, get all the info you have on the CSV file and do a replace first record in the first record, second record in the second record, third record in a third record, like this. Because I have 4 million perfectly sorted on one side, exactly the same number, the same amount of records sorted by the same fields on the other side. They are perfectly synchronized. This ID with this ID, this ID with this ID. Okay, they are perfectly synchronized, so I can do a replace directly at the end. But in my case, there's other bunch of problems. So here I'm just going to I'm explaining the scripting. Okay, I'm explaining the workflow. Now we have problem as well. The problem is I can have duplicates on both sides. I can have duplicates here, right? I can have duplicates here. So I found them, right? And I can have duplicates here as well. So, and those duplicates need to have a treatments, right? And that is something I'm going to explain later. But so we have this technique here of synchrony, because the duplication, if you just use the replace or update out of the box on FileMaker, it won't take care of it, right? Sorry, it takes so long. If I'm here in this configuration here, and I have 2 times Scott's, right? What will happen, right? What will happen, right? It's that a problem. It will put, if I sync based on the name, and I have 2 times the same name, is going to replace both records with the same data, right? And we don't want that, right? We don't want that at all. So, and so that's why the file imports out of the box from FileMaker cannot work in our case. Yeah, when it's slow because I have a Zoom stuff, so it's normally it shouldn't take that long, but it's okay. Maybe I can do something here to speed up a little bit. So I'm going to take this number here. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to say I want this. This will speed up because I will have a smaller amount of records. So you see, when you have millions of records and you want to do a find or something like this, this is what you get, okay? Normally, I don't get these problems because I'm sharing my screen, so everything is slow. So anyway, so I need to find the duplicate, but the duplicate I will explain that at the end of this. Do we have any question?
David Angel says that he's confused and he would like to see the script.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah,
like if you want to make he's confused about you want to make an update but with a script.
Yes, of course. We cannot do that with file import. That was a demo to explain how this works. I want you to know how this works. The difference between add, update, and replace, because many people doesn't know. So before to get in, I want to explain this. I'll just explain that this is what I want to do, but we cannot use the update on this on millions of records because it will take 7 years. Because this technique is too, I want to update current record I have, but also I want to add the new record if they not find, if I don't find the record here, I want them to be treated as new, right? I cannot use this. This is what I was saying. I was saying I cannot use that. We need to use another technique, and I was explaining what I want to do. I was explaining that I'm going to get the CSV file, right? And I'm going to match. I say, okay. So what does script do? First, right? I'm going to import one field of the CSV. It's the field that I want to match on. I don't need to import more than this. That means I have a table, right? A free table, and I'm importing one field out of a CSV file that has something like 15 or 16 fields, okay? Columns, right? I want to import one field. I'm importing the data of the field I want to match. That means I want to match that number with that number inside the 19 million records. So from the CSV file, I'm getting into FileMaker, right? I'm getting only one field, right? That's all. I'm importing the record. That will be super fast if I do that, because I'm importing only one field, right? So this is what I'm doing here. So forget about this. So I'm importing the records, right? I'm importing. And then I do, okay, I'm treating the duplicates, correct? But that is for another time. So that's all what I'm doing here. I'm importing. I'm in from the CSV. From the CSV. Yeah. Sorry for that. From the CSV, right? I'm importing one record, this one field. That's all what I'm importing, right? And I don't do any update, anything. I don't do that. Just I'm importing one field, right? In this table. So when this done, right? I want to do, right? I want to match, I want to get the records, I want to get all the existing record here, right? I want to get them here as a found set. So all the existing VUID that I have here, the existing one, right? I want to get them, right? I want to get a found set here with a X number of records, right? Saying, okay, based on those 4 million records, this is what I have, right? To do this, there's only one way. And I'm going to explain you. So I'm going to get this, right? So let's say, right, I have a VUID, right? And I have two tables, right? So I have a VUID, I have two tables, right? I have the table A, okay, and the table B, okay? They're pretty much both the same. Right? They're the same. Right? So I have, let's put some more VUID here. So I have 1, 2, 3. Let's say 4. Let's say Rick. Okay. So that's the table A. And then I have the table B. Let's import those records here. Okay. And let's do this, VUID, right? And let's do David. I don't know where you're located, but Houston, and we have Peter in San Diego, and we have wasn't it Mark in Stockton, where I'm living. Okay. So I have more record here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I have more record here that I have here, correct? Okay, so far so good. I want to be able to retrieve those and the record I have here, and I'm going to add a new one here. I'm going to add 7, and I'm going to add Daniel in Tracy. Okay, so here you see the configuration. Some are existing, some are existing here, but they're not here, and some they are here, but they're not here, right? So normally what we do to do that is simple, right? We do this. 2 ways to do that, okay? I'm matching VUID. This is what I want to match. We do a relationship, right? And now we do this. We have a script, and we say, go to records from table A to table B, showing table B layout, and you say, show only real record on match all record in current found set. That means it's going to get all these found sets, and it's going to give me all the records that it can find in this table, right? So if I do this, and let's do a new window. If I do this is what I get, right? This is what he got. I got this. That means he found, yeah, but something wrong. Why is do this? He should have match all record in current found set. Yeah, so, okay. So I'm here in table A, and I'm doing this. Boom. So based on this list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, right? In table B, the one existing is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have 6, and here I don't have 7. So those two, the 7, I have no matching here, and here I don't have 6. So there's no way 6 and 7 could have been found. The one I have in common on both here are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first one. The first way to do that, right, is to do a show only regulated record, match all record in current found set. Unfortunately, that means it's going to one by one do first. Do I have 1? Yes. 2. Do I have 1, 2 here? Yes. 3. Do I have 3? Yes. Right? So it's going to do that record by record. It's going to do that, right? But that's, unfortunately, when you have millions of records, is not possible, right? We cannot do that, right? We can't. If we do that, we screwed, right? Correct? So that's another way to do that, right? Is to create a field, a link and we put a transfer, right? It's for transfer. I have a field, and I make it a global, or in case that works on the server, right? And I'm going to use that field to say whatever in that field with the view ID. So that's what happened. If I have a new layout, right? I'm going to put this link here, and I'm going to get a portal here with table B, and I'm going to send this, this, and this. Okay? Okay. And now I say, okay. So it's a relationship between these fields and the VU ID on this table, right? So I'm here, and in this table, I'm going to get the result here. So if I put 1, I have he found it. If I put 2, he found it. If I put 3, he found it. They are here. If I put 4, he found it. If I put 5, found it. If I put 6, he found it. And if I put 7, it's not there. I don't find it. Correct? It's not there. And if I don't put 6, right, it's not there. That means because here in this table here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. So this is what I put here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. So let's say I'm in this configuration. Based on the number I put here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, this is what I have. I don't have the 7. The 7 is not existing, right? So the difference here is huge, right? Because here in this configuration, I was asking FileMaker to do a match on multiple records, matching one by one, one by one, one by one. Okay? It's like a loop. First, check. Second, check. Third, check. It was like a loop like this. In this configuration, I can use another go to rel records, is this one. Match current record only, right? So I'm not going to ask to match all the found sets. Why? Is because now I'm using this list that I have in this field. This is one field, one set of data. It's not multiple record like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's not multiple record. I have one field, whatever record. That's why I have a global, right? I don't care. It can be any record here. I put the list of all my, and then now I can say, go to read records, right? Boom. I get the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I get them. The 7 has been, the 7 has been ignored because it's not existing. So let's say now I have a tag. So, right? Here, I'm putting a tag here in table B. Tag exists. Okay. Let's say I have a tag. right? So I'm here, I say, okay, those are the records, the VUID I have in my CSV, right? I import them. This is a list of all the 4 million VUID. Gets me the related records, and now tag them existing, because those in this table, table B, they are existing in my CSV. They are part of the CSV. So now the current table that I have, those are part of the CSV. Those are not. They're not part of the CSV, right? But now I have another catch. What do I do? What do I do now, right? Because, okay, now in a table B, I know that this list, I tag them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have 7. But now I need to tell that the 7 is not part of it. Because here I have no, I don't know, right, in table A, right? In table A, let's remove the phone. In table A, I need to know, okay, this one exists, correct? So I need to know here, so yes, one, I found them over there. Okay, so you say all the one that exists in the current table B, right? Get them with the same strategy. The same strategy, give me the found set on the table A. And now I can say, okay, this one, this one, this one, and this one, they are on both tables. They are part of the CSV, and they are part of my current table. So those are existing. You can update the records. You can import the records there. You can import the data, replace, no problem. But now, what do I do with this 7? Oh, but this 7 is new. This 7 is new. It's new because it's not part of this. It's not part of it, right? So now that I know, I came here, I said, okay, you know what? These are existing on both, right? Now, the 7 here that you have on the CSV, I don't have it. So I need to create it. So now I have a new tag here. I say, okay, those are existing, but this one not. So I'm selecting this, right? And I'm importing that VUID, right? And I said, okay, create a new record 7, right? Because this is new. So I need to create it. So now guess what happened? And then you say, by the way, this 7 is a new record, right? So now, this is your CSV, right? I know which one are currently in my table. I know which one is not part of my table. I create the record that is not in my table. And now I can do something like this. Find the existing and find the new. And now, boom, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. They are perfectly synchronized, right? And that means I have 2 records that I don't care. They're not involved in the CSV, right? So leave them alone. But I know right? I can leave them alone. And now that the both tables are perfectly synchronized, I have no problem, putting this data in here. Try to be as basic as possible. So who did understand? Who didn't?
We got questions. So,
Okay.
it's only going to import the field that should match, then loop them with the related table, and then tag existing and not existing.
Tag existed. Yeah, okay. Using the technique of the transfer, I'm going to explain all of this. That's why we have 3 days, right? I use this technique to get the UID, the IDs from the CSV, and to use a go to read records, right? And to get a found set of my current table, right? To get those, I don't do a loop, I'm using a go to read records, but using the technique of putting multiple values. I can put whatever I want. I put values like this, and if I use a go to read record on here, is going to get me only what he can find based on these fields. That the concept of go to relate records. But to make it fast, we cannot use the regular out of the box, like I explained. We cannot use this technique here, match all record, because this is too slow. It's too slow. So I need to use the other technique, which is match the current record, but with multiple values inside the fields. I need to know, this is my CSV, okay? This is the ID I have in the CSV. Okay. I'm getting all the record on the CSV. Okay, those on all my records, only those are in your CSV. Only those are in the CSV, because the 7, I don't have it. So I tag them exist. Then I say, okay, now I know those 4 are existing, right? Those 4. So go to the CSV, right? Retrieve those 4, right? So I ignore the 7, right? And tag them exist as well. So they both, we know on the CSV side and on the current table side, I know those are existing. Boom. I know they exist on both tables. They exist on the CSV and on the table. Now, what do I do with my freaking 7 record? What do I do with this? I say, okay, look, this 7 is a new one. So, okay, create the records with the 7, right? Create a record with the 7 and tag it as new. And as well, tag it this in the CSV as new. So I know now on my CSV, based on those 5 records, right? I know that the first 4 are existing and the 7, right, is a new one, right? I know. But now I can match, I can do the replace, like I explained to you here. Here, I can do this. I can say, yes, from the CSV, take the first record on the CSV and put the data on the first record on this table. Take the second record on the CSV, go there and the second record, put it. I can do that because they are both synchronized. And those 2 records, the 7 here, are completely ignored and untouched. I'm not going to. But the problem is, if I do something like this, right, and I do a replace, then I have a problem. because it's going to mismatch, misalign completely everything if I do this, right? I mean, the question is, did you understand this concept here? The replace concept? Because if you didn't understand that, I need to redo the whole demonstration. So that's why, I was asking, do you have a question? Because if you don't understand this concept here, there's no way you can understand anything of what I was talking.
Yeah, people are saying that they understand the replace. So
okay, so now you understand that what I want to do. I have a CSV on one side and I have a current table with much more records than the CSV. I need to make sure I get the exact amount of record and I get exactly the same VUID on both sides, and I need to synchronize both. I need to make sure they both synchronize, absolutely perfectly synchronized. And then I can say, now get this freaking CSV file and import and get the replacement of all the fields that I want. But I need to prepare the synchronization. And the problem is when you have a massive amount of records, because you cannot use the replace and stuff. We can't. So, and we have to use a bunch of things to get this done. So do we have any other question?
you can put 4 million IDs in a global field?
Okay, so that is good question. Who asked this?
David Angel.
David, okay. Good question, perfect question, because this is a problem. This is a freaking problem. And that's why at the beginning, remember at the beginning of the webinar, I came with the limitation, FileMaker limitation. I cannot put more than 10 million characters in a field. I can't. And if you do, you crash FileMaker. If you try to do that, FileMaker crashes the server. Not badly, but it crashes. So, and that's a problem. And now you understand this. So I have the ID I use, right? The ID, we can close this. The ID I use, they are 10 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So how many characters, how many values I can put in one field, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 million. So I can go up to 1 million if I go that way, I can put 1 million value of 10 value. Correct? That will, I can put 1 million value of 10 characters. That will get my 10 million characters. 1 million values, okay? You understand? I can put 1 million times. I can put 1 million times, this. Because I have 10 characters per value, so I can put 1 million. That would be 10 million characters. Correct? So to do that, we need to come with a strategy. Correct? And the strategy is simple. I want to get batches of 500,000 values. I could go to 1 million. I could go to be safe. I can say 900,000, right? But I prefer to cut in more small pieces because they are easier to handle. Correct? So here's the problem in many software. When you want to do like this, you want to transfer data from one place to another. You want to transfer data from one set of, you have a list of records, right? You have a list of records here. So you have this list, and you want to transfer each one in one field, right? Which is here, by the way. Where is it? No, not the import. Here. I want to transfer everything in this field. I'm afraid to open it, to be honest with you. Here, so I'm going to click on it, but it might take some time. I have 500,000 values in that field. Yeah, click on it and see. So I knew I shouldn't. So when imagine, so I click on it. So I click. So it tried to open the fields. Imagine I'm using a kind of set field, right? See how long it took to open the fields, right? Because I have 500,000 values in one field. Imagine if I have 1 million. Okay. The problem is when you have to move data like this using variables, set field from one field to another, and you have to use the memory, you're going to stress the memory because set field and the set variable, all of this use memory, RAM, to do that. Okay? You understand? So the problem is how I can transfer 500,000 values from that file, from that list, and I want to get the first 500,000 of this 4 million, and I want to put them here in this field without using the memory, right? Well, I showed you last week, we write a data field, a data file, right? Let's say I want to transfer those records, those IDs, right? I want to transfer into that field without using the memory, right? So I blank this, and you use this. You write data. You use a file. You use a physical file on a hard drive to do that. So you do this, and then you create a file on the hard drive. You open the file. I don't know where is it. I should have created it. It's here. This is a file that I have created. Where is it coming? Okay, we know it's on the hard drive. You open the file. You go to the the first record of the 30 record I have here, and you write the ID and go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. It's doing that 30 times, and then you close the file. Now, I have on my hard drive, I have a file with those IDs. And now I have another script that says, okay, open the file on the hard drive, read the file, and close the file. I did a transfer. I transferred this list of records, right? Each record has an ID. I transfer the list of this into this field using a cache on the hard drive. Correct? So this is, and I'm almost done for today. This is why I do that like this. I'm writing the file, so pretty simple. I name the file where I'm going to create the file. I create the file, I open it, and then I said, okay, do a loop. Write the ID, go to next, 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 no, next, next, next. When you reach the 500,000, the record number 500,000, right? You stop the loop, you end the loop, exit the loop when you reached 500,000. And then you close the file, right? Right, so I have a counter that says each time you do a loop like this, each time you do this loop, I have a counter that is created. 1, 2, 3. This is what it's doing. The first, he said, this will be 1. That's the first. I'm saying, okay, I'm writing the file name is data file and whatever the number of the counter. So that the first file will be data file 1. I create a file, I open it, right? I do my loop until I reach 500,000 multiplied by 1. I close the file. I said, set, so I create all my files like this. And then I said, okay, next loop, set the counter number 2. Okay, correct? Create a new file that says data file 2. But here, I exit the loop. I was in the record number 500,000. I said, go next, 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 and then exit. But at that point, I am here. I'm here. I'm on this one. And I close the file. Then I create a new one. Counter 2. I create a new file. And then I said, okay, write the file starting here, right? Go to next, go to next, go to next, go to next, until you reach 500,000 by 2. That means 1 million. So now the next file, I'll be here, 1 million. Then I say, okay, right? I want to close the file. You reach 1 million, close the file, set the counter number 3, set counter number 3, create a file that named data file 3, and then write go to next, go to next, go to next, go to next, until you go to the 500,000 multiplied by 3. That means I am at 1.5 million, etc., etc. Data file 4, data file 5, 6, 7, until you reach the end, right? Until you reach go to next record and last on. That means I exit the loop. This exit the loop when I reach this, but this will exit the loop when I reach the last, even though it's before to reach this, because I have 4 million, but sometimes I can have 3,900,000. It depends, right? At the end of the day, I have this data file 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the size of the files and that which record I have on the file. I have until the 500,000 on this one, until 1 million this one, until 1.5 million, 2 million, 2 million 5, 3, 3, 5, 4, until 4. So now on my hard drive, on the server, I have data file 1, 2, 3, and all of them has the 4 million IDs in it, right? And then when I have this, I'm reading those files, and I said, okay, how many files do you have? Those are the files I have. Okay, open the first list of names. This list of names is this list of names. Okay, get the first, the data file 1. Open it. Open that file. Read that file. Dump this in the fields, those 500,000 IDs, and then you do this. Go to related records. Pretty much, I'm doing this. I'm here. I have 500,000 IDs here, and I said, go to related records. And within the 19 million records, right, is going to select the one that he could find within those 500,000 IDs, right? Okay, so why is doing this? See, he found based on those 500,000 records, 500,000 IDs, he only found 499 and 99.7. I don't have 3 are missing. That means 3 are new on my CSV. I don't have them. So you understand the power of this go to red record stuff, right? That means I have 3 more here I don't have on my other table. And it was clear because the go to red record, and I don't know if you noticed how freaking is fast, because I was doing this locally on my clients. Imagine how freaking effing fast is on server. I could get, look this, it will be faster because I have the cat. I could get this. I could have this like this, right? You understand how freaking fast it was to get those 409 out of 19 freaking million records.
Yeah, that's insane.
Okay, so now you understand? You understand the problem here. It was freaking fast. Now imagine, just imagine that I'm here, right? And I'm going to the 500,000, and I'm going to say omit multiple, and it's 3.500, 3.3, So just doing that. Okay, so I have by my 500,000 stuff, and imagine, sorry, Marge, but I want to finish my reasoning, you know. So I am in T100, I'm here, right? And I want to use this. I'm going to, this will be the end. And I'm going to use this T100A using this and using this. Yeah. So I'm using the out of the box, right, on 500,000 records, right? and I'm going to use this, right? To get out of my 18 million records here, I need to open the based on this, right? But since I have the it might be fast, but if I do, I'm here and I said, get me those in the 19 million here, get me those records. So when you have processing query, you know you're doomed, right? So now it's going to, one by one, check the 19 million records, right? And try to do the same thing that I just did in a click. See? And I can stay there I have to cancel one work. I need to force quit, right? And because if I stay here for 500,000, so imagine that I need to do that for up to 20 million, 25 million. So I need to have batches of 500,000 records until I reach 5 million, 20 million records. It takes years to do that. Look, I'm not lying. I did in front of you using one technique, using 500,000 values in one field and say, go to the red record and boom. And now you said, get those 500,000 records and try to get me out of my 19 million records, the records you can find. And look, it's 5 minutes that I'm talking and it's not even close to be done. So, guys, I'm doing all of this to show you how we can use FileMaker with massive amount of records. I'm not saying that if you have 30 first name, last name, address to update, I'm not asking you to do that. If you have 30 records, 100 records, 1,000 records, 10,000 records, it's okay. But if you have 10 million records, 20 million records, it's no longer okay. You need to use another technique, and that's why you're here. That's why we're here. I don't know if you guys one day will have to do that, right? But I am in it right now for customers. So I wanted to show you this, my findings. It took me like 2 weeks to figure out this, right? Because I never had to do that. I had to import new records, right? Import new records, but I never had to do updates, matching updates on an ID. I never had to do that before on such massive amount of records. So that's why I show, look, 10 minutes that I'm talking. It's not even close to be done, right? So questions? Oh, cancel worked.
We're good, I think.
So you guys, you see, yes, it's a little bit over the top, all what we need to do. But if you look closely, it's not that complicated. No, really. I'm importing the records, the IDs. I'm writing a file with these IDs, and I'm writing multiple files, and I show you how to do that with the loop. Then you read each files, you read them, pom, 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 and you read the first and you tag exist, right? You go the second and you tag exist. The third, the fourth, until 8, and that's it. You understand? It's not that complex to do, and definitely FileMaker can handle this, but the key ingredient is this, the file. So if we don't have any question, we can close business.
I'm good questions tomorrow because I have a meeting to be going to. But
okay, no problem. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nick. This has been awesome, as always. Seriously, it's been a really fascinating mini-series. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow, guys.